In this video, I want to take just a real quick detour away from ASP.NET, and I want to talk to you about how to administer Internet Information Server. Now, it's really not a detour because you're going to have to do this plenty of times in ASP.NET. It's an integral part of ASP.NET, and of course, that's the web server that you're going to have to put your web files on, and oftentimes, you're going to be involved in the administration of the web server since you're building web pages for it. Now, in the previous video, I showed you how to do start programs to get out there and get to the web server. But what if you don't have that loaded on your machine? What if you can't get there? Well, I'm going to show you one trick that you can do, and this will usually help you. If you don't have administrative tools on your machine, you can get to the Microsoft Management Console. Now, that's actually what we use to administer Internet Information Server, and I'm going to show you a couple of cool things about that. So first of all, if you go down and hit Start and go to Run, and then in the box that is in the Run dialog box, we're going to type MMC, and then click OK. And you're going to notice this has opened up, and I'm going to make this full screen, a empty administration window, an empty MMC console. Now we want to add the Snap-In that we use to administer IIS, and so we're going to click on Console. And then we're going to click Add Remove Snap-In. Now this is going to bring the Add Remove Snap-In dialog box, and this is where I'm going to add Snap-Ins to administer. Now I'm going to first go out here. When I click Add, you'll notice all of the administrative tools that are available to me on this machine are here, and notice I'm going to choose Internet Information Services from this list. I'll click Add, and you'll notice that it appears now over here in my Add Remove Snap-In dialog box. I'll click Close here. We'll come back here in just a few minutes. And I'm going to click OK. Now notice I'm going to grab this, click and drag. Notice Internet Information Services has been loaded, and when I expand it, it notices that my web server is Leesburg. And then I can get in here and I can expand my default website and begin to work with these things and administer it. Now, on any of these particular web pages right here, or websites, for example, I'll take Mark's example here. If I right-click on it and go to the Properties choice in the flyout menu, this is where I can administer that particular website. Notice I can set read and write permissions on this website. Allow directory browsing, which we usually turn off nowadays. If you've ever been to a web page and seen this tree type layout of all the folders, that's what did that. We can log visits and index this resource and so forth. Notice on documents, just to kind of show you a couple of things here. This is where I set my default document. If people hit my website and don't request a certain page, then the first thing it's going to look for is default HTML, ASP, IIS start, or default ASPX. And the first one of these it finds, it will return to them. So this will be my home page. Now, directory security, you will spend a lot of time here. This is where we set up the different types of authentication that we'll talk about later. Notice if I want to set anonymous access, I can click this button. Notice I can restrict certain IP addresses and domains from hitting my website, and I can use this tool to do that. So there's a lot of things that I can do in here. Now, notice that that's on an individual website. If I scroll to the top and right-click on the default website and go to Properties, I get a lot more choices, but anything I make here is going to affect all of these websites. So this is any website, this is all the websites rather that's on my web server. So this is at the web server level, and this is down at the individual website level. And just by right-clicking, going to Properties, I get there. It depends on where I right-click. So now, what I can do here is set all kind of things, logging on my web page and so forth. Now, I don't want to make this an IIS class, so I've shown you how to get here, and I would suggest you get a hold of some documentation if you're not familiar with this. Go out and take a look at this, but this is how you find it. Now that we've loaded the MMC, though, I do want to show you something else, and you won't see this unless you load the MMC yourself most of the time. But if you remember, I went to Console, did Add Remove Snap-In, and clicked on Add in the Snap-In box. Now I want to show you. Active Directory users and computers, if I have that, I can add that. Computer management, I can add that one. and I'll just do the local computer. Now, if I had Exchange Server or other Microsoft products on here, SQL Server, as a matter of fact, I have SQL Server on here, so let's take a look at that one. Let me find it here. Microsoft SQL Enterprise Manager. Add that one and close. And now when I hit OK, notice all these are here. So I can go out and administer my SQL servers sitting in the same location as the one where I administer my websites. And notice they're in this tree now. And so this is Microsoft's one-stop place for administration. So just see how you can use this if you're administering other things along with Internet Information Services. If you have a Snap-in, you can drop them in here. So just wanted you to see the MMC and understand exactly what's going on with this administration tool, because you can actually leverage this and get a whole lot of mileage out of it for more things than just your web pages.